Alright, good evening sa inyo guys. For today's video, meron ako nakita as always sa YouTube na naman ano. Meron ako nakita sa YouTube no. Um pwede um yung MP3 music no, pwede pwedeng i-transcribe no. So with an instant no. So hindi ko alam kung paano mangyayari pero yung MP3 or your audio file no pwede i-convert or i-transcribe into music arrangement no. So as always pupunta tayo sa YouTube. Okay, so tara. Okay, so ito yun guys. Ayan. So nandito tayo sa YouTube as always. Ayan guys, teka lang, check ko lang yung OBS. Okay, balik tayo sa YouTube guys. Ayan, ito guys, so ayan, so ito yung nakita ko no? Gusto ko lang i-share at ano ba meron dito ba, how instantly convert an MP3 audio file into sheet music no. So click nga natin to guys.
Welcome. I hope that you are doing well. By the end of this video, you will be able to convert an audio file, something like a WAV file or an MP3 file, into sheet music that you can edit and print out. Now, to do this, you will be using two different pieces of software. One
Talaga no. So ito pala yun guys, yung nabanggit sa akin ng classmate ko no. Ayan no. So we have an anthem score and a muse score. Sabi dalawa daw eh no. So tuloy natin yung video panoorin.
One is MuseScore, which is a piece of free music software that you will be able to edit the notes with. And the other is Anthem Score, which is the software that actually converts the audio file to the sheet music. So let's get started. So these tools can be useful for converting the audio file to a sheet music, but they do have limitations. And I'll make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see the different problems that you can run into and how you can work around them, as well as what you may or may not be able to do with the software. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head to two different websites. The first is lunavirus.com, and I'll put the link to this website in the description below. And this website is where you will be able to download Anthem Score onto your computer. And then the other website that you're going to want to head to is musescore.org. And this is where you will be downloading MuseScore. So again, you're going to want to go to each of these and download the correct version and install it onto your computer. And a quick note about Anthem Score is that it starts out as a free trial, so you can download the trial first. And or if you, I would probably start with the trial first, see if you like it. And then if you want to purchase the software, then they have a couple options to purchase. But here are a couple of the features that you can see that Anthem Score is going to do for you. And then MuseScore is free, it's open source, and it's just a piece of free software that you can use for the sheet music part of this. So once you have those downloaded and installed on your computer, you'll want to open up Anthem Score. Now, what I am going to attempt first is I have several pieces of several mp3 files and several WAV files that I'd like to show you. First one is this Mary Had a Little Lamb. So you can see it's a piano piece. It's just a single line, and it just plays the melody. And so in order to start the process of converting that to sheet music, what I'm going to do is go up to File, and then I'm going to click Open. And it's going to ask me what file I would like to open up. And then I'm going to click on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Once that is complete, then it's going to ask me a couple questions, and it asks me if I'd like to convert the entire song. I do. You can also click a section of the song. We'll do that later. And then you can do Find Notes, which is what you're going to want for the sheet music. Spectrogram, you're going to see what that is in a second. And then it asks you a couple other settings. You can just keep those as they are to start. So you just press OK, and now it's going to convert that piece of music into something that can be read into sheet music. So you can see it's going to pull up into the viewer what it looks like. And this is where you're going to be able to see if it worked or not for you. So you can click out of the viewer and see the notes represented here. And if those, for those that are familiar with MIDI, this is what a MIDI reading would look like. And you can see it did a pretty good job. I can go up here to the left-hand corner and go ahead and press play. And you can see it did a pretty good job at recognizing the notes and then putting them here. Now, what we need to do is actually get this into MuseScore so that we can edit the notes if we need to. So in order to do that, you're going to go ahead and go up to the left-hand side here, and what you want to do is you want to export this, and it's going to ask you where you'd like to put the score. So again, you can put it in any folder that makes sense to you. And what you're going to want to do is it's going to ask you for the format. And you can see you have several different pieces formats. So if it did a good job, you can just export it as PDF if you want to print it off right away. If you need to edit it, which most of the time you do, you're going to want to have the format be a music XML or a .xml file. So click that to have it selected, and then it'll ask you, if what instrument you might have a recording of and those kinds of things. And once you feel like that's all correct, then you just press OK. And now it's going ahead and it's clicking or converting that. And once it's done, you will find it in the file that you set it to. So here it is. Now, for many of you, it'll show up like this blank piece of paper. So what you need to do, it doesn't have a program. So if I click on this, it's going to ask me where I would like to open this. Let's say I didn't have that option. You can right-click it, and then you want to open with. You might need to choose another app, and then I've got MuseScore here. You might need to go even further, but I've got MuseScore, so I'm going to click MuseScore and press OK. And now it is going to ask me would I like to apply their new typeface to the score. I'm going to say go ahead. And so this is what it's going to look like. They'll put the title at the top, and that's the title that you gave it when you were saving it. And you can see it did a very good job at converting that into sheet music. And again, once you're in MuseScore, there's a lot of functions here that you can use in MuseScore. But again, this video is just to show you how to convert a WAV file or an mp3 file into sheet music. With having it open in MuseScore, you can manipulate the notes. I can, click on this and, add notes or take away notes or those kinds of things. But again, this is mostly for transcribing music so that it saves you some time and energy. You're probably still going to do some editing. Now, if you would like more videos on how to use MuseScore, I have many different videos on how to use this piece of software, so you can check out my other videos for that. One in particular is that if you don't know how to put in notes, that's the first one to start with. So I'll put a link around here for the note entry video. Okay, so now that you know how to convert an audio file to sheet music, let me walk you through a couple problems that you might run into. So, and then also I want to show you how to use Anthem Score. There's a couple more tools in here that you probably enjoy. So I want to try another piece of music. So let's say, so that worked really well for the piano piece. And one of the things I want to point out is that Anthem Score really only works well if you've got a single instrument or maybe two instruments that are like far apart with the range. So basically, they don't have the same range. So the first thing I want to do is go back up here to. I'm going to close this out first. Close the file. I'm not going to save it. You can save these files too as Anthem Score files if you want to edit them later. So next I want to open a different kind of piece of music. This is a Beethoven Symphony. This is a much more complex piece of music. For this one I am going to only convert part of the song because it takes quite a while with the bigger files. So it's going to go ahead and convert that mp3. And real quick, that's what it came up with. I just wanted to show you what this sounded like before converting it. So you can see it's a full orchestra, okay? And so this is what it came up with on the sheet music, and you can see it's pretty, it's not quite correct. And the one main reason it's not quite correct is because of one of the limitations of this program is the pulse or the rhythm. So basically, if what you're trying to convert was not recorded with a metronome or something like a metronome, like a click track, then is this piece of software will not do a very good job at creating the sheet music. So with with the music that you're converting, just keep that in mind that you want to have music that's pretty close to in time. So you can see this is what I came up with. So it would take me a long time to edit all of this to be correct. And again, you might be using this for several different reasons. You might not need the sheet music to be perfect. You might just be doing it as a hobby, just trying to figure out what the notes are, so you don't have to transcribe it by hand. Okay, so once you've got it into Anthem Score, you can edit it in Anthem Score, and what you can do is just right-click in this area, and you can move notes around. You can delete notes. So if I right-click on that, it deletes the note. If I right-click again down here, it'll add an E, and again, this will affect the sheet music that it creates. Over here on the left-hand side, there's a lot of different tools that you can use. Right here is where we've got the note selector, or add and removing notes. That's what we've got now.
Ayun, napansin ko mukhang kailangan ano lang, isang instrumento or kahit doble. May sinasabi siya yung range eh. Yung range nung ano nung yung octave, no? Kung malayo ba sila, so or kung gaano kakomplikado yung tinutugtog, no? Ayun, so baka medyo hindi ganun ka-accurate, no? Pero let's say gusto mo kunin yung parang siguro para sa akin pwede mong i-rewrite na lang, no? Parang i-rewrite mo yung arrangement. At least nakuha mo yung parang ano, yung idea or yung nakuha mo yung nakita mo, nagka-idea ka, no? Paano yung arrangement ng kanta. Just in case, halimbawa, gagamitin mo tong anthem score, no? Yung pala yun, no? Okay. So, next video, try natin, no? Dahil ito, pinapanood lang natin. Next video, subukan natin gawin ito, subukan natin yung anthem score gamitin, no? Okay, tingin ko parang hindi, parang imposible, no? Yung mp3. Pero, tignan natin sa susunod na video. Pero, tuloy natin muna yung video.
So to do that, you have to have that enabled. So that's one thing. And then it also has, opacity notes. So you can see the notes will fade out. I keep it nice and bright. The other part of this I want to show you is right here at the measures. So let's say it had a problem with the rhythm. You can, like what I was saying earlier, with it really needs to be in rhythm. If there's a part, there's a retardando or something that's a accelerando, you can go up here. These numbers at the top are the measures, and then you can click and then drag that around so that it puts the measure more where you want it. To undo anything you do in here, just push Control Z, and that'll at least get you moving in the right direction. So those are just a couple of the things that you can do in Anthem Score. If you you can explore this a little further to see some other things. You can change the key signature. So let's say you wanted to transpose this quickly. You just go over here to the left-hand side of this, and then click on the blue area there, or you can just look over here to the left-hand side, and you see key, E flat. I can go ahead and change that to F if I wanted to. Now the problem is it'll put the sheet music in F, but it's not going to actually transpose the music. It's just going to put it in the key signature. So it's got limitations in that regard. So I'm just going to click back to E flat. And again, you've got your time signature and those kinds of things that you can edit. So let's go ahead and see what this looked like whenever I go ahead and export it as an XML file, and then I'm going to open it in MuseScore. So this is what I came up with in MuseScore, and I would have to do quite a bit of editing for this piece of music. Okay, one last thing I want to show you in Anthem Score, and just point out, is that if you want to do anything like choir music or anything with a lot of different instruments, it's not going to work very well. The main reason is because it's trying to hear all of the notes, and a lot of times it doesn't hear all of the notes correctly or put it in the correct rhythm. And again, you have to do a lot of editing, either in Anthem Score or in MuseScore. One last thing that you want to be mindful of is whatever recording you're using, you want to make sure it's in tune. So you now know how to convert an audio file into a piece of sheet music that you can edit in MuseScore. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section below. I do my best to answer those. I have other MuseScore 3 tutorials available. Again, start with the note entry video if you haven't watched that one. That's a good place to start for using MuseScore. And lastly, if you like this, please subscribe and like this video. I thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, I think that's it for this video. Okay, so see you next video kung sakali gumawa ako ng what do you call this, yung titry natin yung software, no, para tingin ko baka gitara lang ganun, no, pero kung full band, no, parang and then buong parang hindi ko nakikita na accurate siya. Okay, so pero susubukan natin yan sa next video. Okay, I think that's all for this video. Okay, bye bye.